The sky was not blue anymore. It was dark, filled with fire and smoke. Explosions lit up the space above Earth like burning stars. Ships of all sizes flew in every direction, but most of them were human ships, and most of them were broken. Pieces of metal floated in the void, spinning slowly, reminders of lives lost. Captain Ron gripped the edge of his control panel, sweat running down his face. "We can't hold them much longer," he said, his voice shaking. Around him, his crew tried to keep calm, but panic was spreading fast. Alien ships swarmed them, moving faster than anything humans had ever built. Their weapons were strange, glowing, and deadly. Every shot from the enemy tore through human shields like paper. In the chaos, a small ship zipped between the giant battleships. It was barely more than a scout vessel, but inside it, a girl sat quietly. She was Earthborn, born on this planet that was now bleeding under the alien assault. Her brown hair floated slightly in the zero-gravity cabin, and her eyes stayed fixed on the battle outside. She was young, maybe too young to be here, but there was a calm in her that no one else had. Her name was Lyra. She watched as one of the human carriers exploded in a ball of fire. Thousands of lives gone in seconds. She swallowed hard, but she did not panic. Instead, she studied the enemy movements, looking for patterns, weaknesses, anything. Everyone else was running, firing blindly, or hiding behind debris. Lyra's mind worked like a machine, analyzing, calculating. "Shields at 20%, shouted a nearby officer. "Hull breach in 3 minutes if this keeps up." Captain Ron hit the panel, sending a warning flare to all ships in the area. "Form up. Protect the carrier. Protect the carrier." But the order barely reached anyone. The humans were scattered, panicked. The aliens pressed harder, their numbers overwhelming. And then Lyra saw something. A small group of alien fighters moved differently than the rest. They flew in a formation she had never seen before. It was tight, fast, almost like they were hunting. She pointed to the screen. "There," she said quietly. Her voice was calm but firm. "That group, it is different. Their left flank is open. If we hit there." No one had time to listen. The comms were filled with screams, explosions, and static. The aliens were closing in. A large destroyer ship fired a beam directly at the carrier, and Lyra saw the explosion in slow motion. Fire raced across the hull. The carrier was done. Thousands of humans were gone in one instant. "Move, move, move," someone yelled. Lyra's small ship twisted and turned, dodging debris and fire. She was too small to fight like the others, too weak to take down a big alien vessel, but she was fast. She zipped behind a burning shuttle and took careful aim with her small blasters. A shot hit one of the alien scouts and it spun out of control, crashing into a larger ship. A small victory, but in the middle of total destruction, it felt like nothing. Around her, the human fleet was collapsing. Ships were exploding like fireworks, alarms ringing everywhere. Captain Ron barked orders, but the aliens were too organized, too powerful. The humans were losing. Every second, the situation became more hopeless. Yet Lyra did not give up. She could feel it, the smallest chance, the tiniest possibility to change something. She adjusted her controls, looking for more patterns, more openings. Even if she was just one person, she thought, maybe one person could make a difference. The alien commander's flagship appeared above the battlefield. Its huge shape blocked the stars, its weapons glowing red. It was terrifying. Its beam cut through human ships like a knife through butter. The humans did not even have time to react. "Brace for impact." Captain Ron shouted, but he knew it was too late. Lyra's heart pounded. She watched as one human battleship was destroyed and then another. She saw friends she had known her whole life, fallen. And still she did not panic. She focused. She needed a plan. Something small, something clever. Something that could turn the tide. But the aliens were too strong. Too many. Too fast. It seemed hopeless. The Earth was about to lose its first real war in centuries. And then, deep inside, Lyra felt something strange. A spark. A thought. A tiny voice saying, "I can do this." She did not know how yet, but she knew she had to try. If she did not move now, everything would be gone. The camera, or the viewer in this story, would see Lyra's small ship drifting closer to the enemy formation. Alone. Tiny against the massive alien fleet. But her eyes were steady, her hands ready. The universe around her screamed with chaos, fire, and death. And in that moment, just as hope seemed lost, she whispered to herself, "It's time." The battle seemed hopeless. Every human ship was burning, every hope nearly gone. And yet, a single Earthborn girl was about to make a move that no one expected. The battlefield was still burning. Fires from destroyed ships floated in the void like dying stars. The cries of humans over the comms echoed through space, and alien lasers cut everything apart. It seemed impossible that anyone could survive. But Lyra was not finished. Her small ship weaved between debris, dodging shots and flames. She had no big weapons, no army, nothing but her mind and her courage. And right now, her mind was working harder than it had ever worked before. She noticed a strange glint on the edge of a destroyed human cruiser. It wasn't a normal weapon or a piece of metal. It was smooth, glowing faintly, almost like it was alive. Her curiosity pulled her closer. She knew she should focus on surviving, but something inside her whispered, this could change everything. Lyra docked her small ship carefully with the broken cruiser. The airlock hissed as she entered the wreckage. Smoke filled the corridors, sparks flew from broken wires, and the smell of burnt metal burned her nose. Most humans would have turned back. Most humans would have given up. But Lyra pushed forward. At the heart of the ship she found it. A small, compact device that hummed softly. It was about the size of her hand, made of shiny black metal with glowing lines. On one side, symbols flickered like a language she had never seen. But when she touched it, a warm pulse went through her fingers. The device seemed intelligent. A machine, yes, but somehow it felt like it wanted her to use it. "What are you?" she whispered. There was no answer, but somehow she understood it. Not in words, but in a feeling. This was old human technology, long hidden, lost after centuries of peace. Weapons like this had never been used in battle. Most humans didn't even know it existed. And now, maybe it could help turn the fight around. Lyra brought the device back to her ship. She studied it carefully, pressing buttons and watching the glowing symbols change. Nothing exploded. Nothing attacked her. And then she noticed something amazing. The device reacted to her thoughts. If she focused on a ship, a pattern, or a path, it seemed to calculate something. A strategy. A weakness. A way to fight the aliens. Her heart raced. Could a single device, this old, forgotten technology, really give her the power to fight an entire alien fleet? She didn't know yet, but it was her only chance. Meanwhile, outside, the battle raged. The human fleet was almost destroyed. Only a few ships remained, struggling to survive. Captain Ron shouted orders over the comms, but his voice was drowned out by explosions and screams. Every second, more humans were falling. Every second, the aliens were stronger. Lyra activated the device fully. A holographic map of the battlefield appeared in front of her. It showed enemy ships, their formations, their weapons, everything. She could see their weak points, their patterns, the angles where their lasers could not reach. For the first time she felt hope. A plan was forming in her mind. But there was no time. Every second counted. One wrong move and she would die. One wrong move and Earth would be lost. She remembered the alien squad she had seen before, the one moving differently from the rest. The device confirmed her suspicion. That small group was the key. If she could take them down, she could create an opening for the humans to escape, or even fight back. Her hands moved fast, guided by the device. She plotted a path through the debris, avoiding enemy fire, dodging explosions, and weaving around burning ships. The aliens did not notice her yet. They were focused on the big ships, the human carriers, the easy targets. "Just a little closer," she whispered. Her voice was calm, but her heart beat like a drum. Almost there. The small device pulsed brighter, as if encouraging her. Lyra smiled. It was strange, feeling a machine care about her, but she didn't question it. She had bigger things to think about, like survival and victory. Then a sudden alarm went off. The device's glow changed from soft blue to flashing red. Something was coming. Not just aliens, something bigger. Something fast. She had been detected. Lyra's small ship shook as lasers hit her shields. Sparks flew across the cockpit. Her eyes widened, but she did not panic. She had the device and she had a plan. Even if it was dangerous, even if she might die, she had to act. She whispered to herself, "This is my move. Time to see if it works." With one last deep breath, she steered her ship toward the alien squad. Her hands moved fast, following the patterns the device had shown her. Every turn, every dodge, every shot was calculated. The small ship became more than a ship. It became an extension of her mind and the device. Outside, the battle continued to rage. Explosions painted the void with fire and metal. But in the center of all chaos, a tiny human ship moved with purpose. Small, alone, and almost invisible. Yet it carried the spark of hope that the human fleet had not felt in centuries. Lyra knew that what she was about to do was dangerous. She could fail. She could die. The aliens could destroy her in an instant. But she also knew that if she succeeded, she might just change everything. And for the first time since the battle began, she felt a real, burning hope. The hopeless battle might not be hopeless after all. Lyra's small ship glided silently through the wreckage of destroyed ships. Outside, the battlefield was chaos. Fireballs floated in the void, human and alien ships crashed together, and the screams of comms echoed endlessly. But inside her cockpit it was quiet, focused. She had the device and now she had a plan. She studied the holographic map again. The small alien squad, the one that moved differently, was just ahead. They were close enough to strike but fast enough to notice her if she made a mistake. One wrong move, and she would be destroyed before her plan even began. "Steady," she whispered. "Just follow the pattern." The device pulsed softly as if reassuring her. Lyra had grown to trust it completely. Every move, every turn, every dodge, it guided her. She felt almost like the device was part of her. Together they were ready to strike. She took a deep breath. Then, with a sudden burst, she accelerated toward the alien squad. Her small ship was tiny compared to the alien fighters, but small was an advantage now. She twisted and turned, dodging laser fire, weaving through explosions and following the path the device had shown her. A laser grazed her wing, sparks flying. She gritted her teeth but did not slow. Another ship came too close. Lyra fired her small blasters, guided by the device. One ship spun out of control, smashing into another. The chain reaction was perfect, just as the device predicted. She felt a thrill she had never known. For the first time she was not just surviving, she was fighting back. The alien squad noticed her now. They tried to surround her, firing in unison. Lasers sliced past her shields, sending sparks flying across the cockpit. Lyra twisted sharply, narrowly avoiding death. Then she remembered the weak point the device had shown her, the small gap between their ship's engines. "Here goes nothing," she whispered. She aimed carefully and fired a precise shot at the gap. The alien ship shuddered, then exploded. Another followed. The squad was in chaos, spinning out of formation. The larger alien fleet did not expect this. They were confused. From afar, Captain Ron watched through the comms. "Wait, is that a single human ship?" he muttered. "She's attacking them alone?" Lyra didn't answer. There was no time. Another ship came at her fast. She dodged, twisting her small vessel like a ribbon in the void. Then she used the device again, sending a pulse that disrupted the alien ship's systems. It slowed down, giving her the chance to strike again. She was moving faster, thinking faster. Every small victory gave her courage. Every explosion she caused made the alien squad weaker. The humans around her started noticing. A few ships that had been hiding began to fire on the alien forces, inspired by her courage. Lyra felt a surge of hope. Maybe, just maybe, she could do more than survive. Maybe she could turn the tide. But the alien commander was not idle. From the flagship, he sent reinforcements to the squad. Larger ships moved in, their weapons glowing bright red. Lyra could feel the danger increasing. One wrong move now could mean death. She paused for a split second, breathing hard. Then she smiled. "I can do this." She activated the device to full power. It pulsed, sending a strange energy wave. The small alien squad faltered again, their weapons misfiring, their formation breaking. Lyra took the chance. She weaved through them, firing at precise points, taking down 2 more ships. Outside, the battlefield shifted. Human ships saw a glimmer of hope. They had thought all was lost, but now one tiny ship was proving that the aliens were not invincible. The morale of the human fleet lifted just a little. They began to regroup, following the opening that Lyra had created. But the danger was far from over. Another wave of alien fighters was coming, faster and larger than before. Lyra's ship shook as lasers cut past her, and sparks flew across her dashboard. She had to act quickly or everything would be lost. She glanced at the device. It showed a new path, a riskier path, but the only one that could save the humans and give them a chance to fight back. Lyra knew it was dangerous. She could die. But she also knew that if she hesitated, Earth would be lost. "Hold on," she whispered to herself. Her hands gripped the controls. Her heart pounded like a drum. Time to finish this first move. With a sudden burst, she steered her small ship through the chaos, following the device's pattern perfectly. Alien ships spun out of control, exploding one by one. Lyra's precise attack had opened a gap in the enemy formation, a small path for the remaining human fleet to escape or strike back. From the bridge of the flagship, the alien commander roared in anger. "Eliminate her." But Lyra was already gone, weaving through debris, moving too fast to catch. She had made her first move. One small human ship had struck back, and the hopeless battle had a spark of hope. And for the first time in the war, the humans saw that maybe, just maybe, they could survive. Lyra's eyes were steady. Her hands were ready. And deep inside, she knew this was only the beginning. The battle was not over. But the first move had been made. Lyra's small ship floated silently for a moment among the debris of destroyed alien and human ships. She could feel the exhaustion in her muscles, the ache in her chest, but she did not stop. Her mind was racing faster than ever. The first move had worked. She had disrupted the alien squad and opened a small path for the humans. But she knew it was not enough. The aliens were stronger, faster, and more organized than she could handle alone. Suddenly, a signal flashed on her console. It was faint, almost hidden in the static, but she recognized it immediately. A human ship, or someone human, was trying to contact her. "Hello," she said cautiously into the comm. The voice was low and hurried. "Earthborn? Lyra? My name is Kale. I saw what you did. Alone. Incredible. I can help you." Lyra narrowed her eyes. She had never met him. How did he even know her name? And why should she trust anyone right now? Every person she had seen in the last hours was either dead, panicking, or hiding. "I don't know who you are," she said. "How do I know you're not just another distraction?" "I'm a survivor," Kale said. "A human, yes. But I've also been with others. We've been watching the battle and we know a weakness in the alien fleet. I can guide you. Together we can hit harder." Lyra hesitated. Alone she had a plan, but it was small. With him she could do more, but there was a risk. Kale could be lying. Kale could be an enemy. She glanced at the device. It pulsed softly, almost like it was telling her to trust him. "Fine," she said finally. "But one mistake and I end this call." "Understood." "Understood," Kale replied. There was a slight smile in his voice. "Follow my path. It's dangerous, but it's our best shot." Lyra activated her thrusters and adjusted her ship to follow Kale's guidance. Through the device she could see their coordinated path in the holographic map. The alien fleet was massive, but Kale had found a pattern, a way to hit them where they were weakest. As they moved, Lyra saw alien ships swarming nearby. She felt a rush of fear, but she did not show it. She had already faced near-death moments before. Now she focused, her hands steady on the controls. Kale guided her through the chaos and she followed. Together they struck alien ships with precision. Lyra's device pulsed, helping her calculate the best angles, while Kale gave real-time guidance, warning her of incoming fire and suggesting attack points. They destroyed a small group of alien fighters in perfect coordination. Lyra felt a thrill she had never known. Fighting alone had been terrifying, but now she had someone who could match her. Someone who could help her do more than she ever imagined. But Kale was hiding something. Lyra could feel it, not through words but in the way he moved his own ship. He was cautious, almost too cautious, and sometimes he hesitated. She did not have time to question it. Every second mattered. Suddenly, a massive alien cruiser appeared, blocking their path. It was enormous, bigger than any ship they had seen before. Its weapons glowed red, ready to destroy anything in range. Kale spoke quickly, almost nervously. "We have to hit the weak point. It's the engines, but you need to distract it first." "I'll cover you." Lyra's heart pounded. She had faced danger before, but this was bigger. One wrong move and both of them would die. But she nodded. There was no time for doubt. She aimed carefully, using the device to guide her shots. Sparks flew as her small ship weaved past lasers, dancing around the massive cruiser. Kale's ship fired alongside her, keeping the enemy busy. Together they created chaos inside the alien formation. Then Lyra saw it, the weak spot Kale had warned her about. She fired a precise shot at the engines. The cruiser shook violently, alarms blaring. Another hit and it began to drift out of control. The alien fleet faltered, confused by the sudden chaos. This is working," Lyra whispered, her voice trembling with excitement and fear. Kale's voice came through the calm but confident. "Keep going. We've only just started." For the first time, Lyra felt real hope, not just a spark but a fire. Together they could challenge the alien fleet. Together they could fight back. But deep inside she could sense danger. Kale's hesitation, the massive size of the cruiser, the unknown strength of the alien commander, it all reminded her that this was far from over. The small human duo had made a difference. The battle that had seemed hopeless was now shifting slightly in humanity's favor. But the war was not won. Not yet. And Lyra knew one thing clearly: she could not do this alone, but with the right ally she might just stand a chance. The battle raged on around them, chaos filling the void, but two humans, one Earthborn girl and one mysterious survivor, were now ready to strike harder than anyone expected. The first spark of rebellion had become a small flame. The battlefield had changed. Explosions lit up the dark void like deadly fireworks. Fires from destroyed ships floated slowly, and debris drifted through space. Human ships that had been on the brink of destruction were now moving again, inspired by the courage of Lyra and Kale. Lyra's small ship zipped through the chaos, the device pulsing with energy as it guided her. Every shot she fired, every maneuver she made was precise. She no longer felt like a single, tiny ship against a massive alien fleet. She felt like a force, one spark that could ignite hope. Kale flew beside her, covering her movements and distracting the larger alien cruisers. Together they were a storm. Laser fire ripped through enemy ships. Sparks and explosions lit the darkness. The alien formation, once perfect and terrifying, was beginning to falter. Captain Ron watched from the flagship. "Is that one human ship and a companion?" he whispered. "How?" It didn't matter. What mattered was that hope had returned. Small groups of human ships began to move together, following the path Lyra had created. They dodged enemy fire, picked off weak points, and even rescued some stranded crews. For the first time, it felt like humans were fighting back, not just surviving. But the aliens were not defeated yet. A massive destroyer moved forward, its weapons glowing bright red. Lyra's heart raced. She knew it could destroy her in seconds. Kale signaled, "I'll cover you. Go for the weak points." Lyra focused. Her hands moved quickly, guided by the device. She remembered every calculation, every pattern it had shown her. She aimed at the destroyer's shield generators, small, exposed, critical points. Her blasters hit perfectly, sparking explosions that weakened the enemy defenses. The destroyer shook violently, its weapons firing wildly as it tried to recover. Lyra's heart pounded. This was her chance. One more hit and it would fall. Kale fired alongside her, striking critical systems. The destroyer's engines faltered. Sparks flew from its hull. Then, with a final, perfectly timed shot from Lyra's ship, it exploded in a ball of fire. The humans cheered even over the comms. The alien fleet was beginning to crumble. Small victories were adding up. The tide of the battle was changing. Lyra felt a rush of triumph, but she did not celebrate. There was too much at stake. She glanced at Kale. "We've done it, so far," she said, her voice steady but tense. Kale nodded. "Yes. But they'll send reinforcements. And the commander, he won't like this." Lyra swallowed hard. She had hoped the turning point would give them time, but she knew the war was not over. The aliens were strong and the flagship, the heart of their command, was still out there. Suddenly, a group of alien ships broke through the chaos, moving directly toward the human fleet. Lyra's device pulsed urgently, showing her their path and predicting their attacks. She twisted her ship to intercept, firing precise shots that disabled two of the incoming ships. Kale followed, protecting her from the others. The humans behind them took advantage of the opening, striking quickly and gaining ground. The once hopeless battle was now a battlefield of opportunity. Humans had found a rhythm, a way to fight back. But the cost was clear. Ships were burning, alarms blared, and countless lives had been lost. Lyra saw some of the surviving crew injured and exhausted but determined. The morale of humanity had lifted, but the battle was far from over. Her eyes returned to the device. It pulsed, stronger now, as if acknowledging her growing skill. The small machine had been her guide, her partner, and her weapon. She had learned to trust it completely. A sudden warning flashed on the console. The alien flagship was moving. Its massive size blocked the stars as it descended toward the remaining human ships. Its weapons glowed brighter than ever. The real challenge was coming. Kale's voice came through the comm, steady but urgent. "This is it. The turning point is ours, but the final fight is next. We need a plan, fast." Lyra clenched her hands on the controls. She had faced fear, chaos, and near-death before. But now she felt something stronger than fear, determination. She knew the humans could win. She knew she had a part to play. And she knew that, together with Kale, they could make a difference against impossible odds. The battle was turning. The humans were no longer weak, no longer hopeless. They were fighting back. And in the heart of the chaos, a small Earthborn girl and her unexpected ally were leading the charge. The aliens had underestimated them. And soon they would see what humanity was truly capable of. The alien flagship hung over the battlefield like a dark mountain, massive and unstoppable. Its weapons glowed red-hot, cutting through the void with deadly precision. The human fleet, though inspired and regrouped, trembled at its presence. Every ship knew one mistake could end everything. Lyra's small ship zipped through the chaos, her eyes fixed on the towering vessel. The device pulsed urgently, showing weak points, predicting enemy movements and calculating the fastest way to strike. She had prepared for this moment, but now that it was here, her heart raced faster than ever. Kale flew beside her, shields up and weapons ready. "Are you ready for this?" he asked over the comm. Lyra nodded, though her hands shook slightly. "I have to be. We fail. Earth is lost." The flagship fired first. A beam of red energy cut through space, obliterating a human cruiser instantly. Sparks and debris exploded outward, and alarms screamed across every ship. Lyra twisted her vessel sharply, barely avoiding the deadly strike. Her small blasters fired at the incoming fighters, knocking a few off course. The device pulsed again, faster now, guiding her hands. Focus. Target the engines. Distract the defenses. Precision. She weaved through the battlefield, moving between lasers, debris, and enemy ships. Her small ship felt fragile against the towering flagship, but she had something bigger than size. She had strategy, intelligence, and courage. "Lyra," Kale said urgently, "the shields are too strong for a direct attack. We need to hit the power core from below. It's exposed for only a few seconds every rotation." Her eyes widened. The core was tiny, almost impossible to hit. If she missed, the flagship's weapons could destroy her instantly. But hesitation was deadly. She adjusted her thrusters and positioned herself below the massive ship. Her palms were sweaty, her heart pounding, but she didn't look away. The rotation began. The core glowed faintly as predicted. Lyra took a deep breath, aimed carefully, and fired. Her shot hit perfectly, sending a pulse of energy into the ship. The flagship shuddered violently, alarms blaring louder than ever. Kale fired alongside her, targeting the defensive systems. Sparks flew and the flagship lurched, temporarily losing balance. Lyra's small ship darted away, narrowly avoiding debris from the first explosion. "This is it," she whispered to herself. "Everything depends on this next move." The flagship recovered quickly. Its weapons turned toward them, firing in rapid succession. Lyra dodged, rolled, and fired again at another weak point revealed by the device. The pulse hit the core, causing a chain reaction in the power system. Sparks, fire, and energy explosions ripped through the massive vessel. Kale shouted over the comm, "It's working. Keep going, Lyra." She moved fast, hitting one weak point after another, the device guiding her with perfect timing. The alien flagship shuddered, its engines failing, weapons misfiring. The smaller alien ships that had been protecting it scattered in confusion. Captain Ron watched in awe. Is she doing this alone?" he muttered. "No. With Kale, they're turning the impossible into reality." The flagship began to break apart. Red-hot metal tore from its hull. Explosions rocked the void. The smaller alien ships panicked, retreating or crashing into each other. The tide of the battle had shifted completely. But Lyra knew the danger wasn't over. The chain reaction was unstable. If she miscalculated even slightly, the explosion could destroy her too. Her hands shook, but she stayed focused, trusting the device entirely. She guided her ship away from the dying flagship, twisting and dodging the last blasts of energy. The explosion was massive. The flagship erupted in fire and debris, floating apart like a shattered planet. The alien fleet, leaderless and confused, began to retreat. The humans cheered, even in the void, over comms and in their hearts. Lyra's small ship floated among the debris, her chest heaving. Kale's ship joined her, shields flickering but intact. "We did it," Kale said, voice trembling with relief and disbelief. Lyra looked out at the battlefield. Human ships, battered but alive, regrouped and moved forward. The aliens had been defeated, or at least forced to retreat. Humanity had survived, not through numbers or weapons alone, but through courage, strategy, and the spark of one Earthborn girl. She thought of the device still pulsing softly in her ship. It had been her guide, her partner, and her secret weapon. Without it, she would have been just one small ship against a massive fleet. With it, she had changed the course of history. "Earth is safe," she whispered, though she knew it was only temporary. There would always be threats. There would always be new challenges. But for now, humanity had won a victory thought impossible. Kale smiled, a rare moment of relief and pride. "You did it, Lyra. You really did it." Lyra shook her head slightly, a small smile forming. "We did it. Together. But this This is only the beginning. The stars were quiet now except for the drifting fires of destroyed ships. The war was not over, but the humans had found hope. One small girl had made the first true difference. One small move had changed everything. And the universe would never underestimate Earth again. The battlefield was quiet now, but it was a quiet filled with smoke, fire, and loss. Debris from alien and human ships floated slowly in the void, glowing in the faint light of distant stars. The massive alien fleet had retreated, broken and leaderless. Humanity had won, but the victory felt heavy. Lyra floated in her small ship, staring out at the wreckage. Her hands were still gripping the controls, but her chest ached, not from the battle but from the weight of what had happened. Thousands of lives had been lost. Friends, crew members, families, all gone in the span of hours. Kale's ship came alongside hers. He looked tired, his uniform scorched from the battle. Yet there was a smile on his face, small but genuine. "We did it," he said quietly. "Earth, we really did it." Lyra nodded, her eyes still on the floating wreckage. "We survived," she said. "But at a cost." They drifted in silence for a few moments. Around them, human ships moved slowly through the battlefield, rescuing survivors, salvaging what they could, and helping the injured. Captain Ron's voice came over the comms, calm but proud. "All units regroup. Report status. Humanity has survived today because of courage and smart action. Let's honor those who fell." Lyra's thoughts drifted to the device. It had pulsed softly through every maneuver, guiding her, helping her strike the alien fleet with precision. Without it she might have died or worse, failed. But it had been more than a weapon. It had been a partner, a guide, a spark of hope in the darkest moments. Kale's voice broke her thoughts. "Lyra, people are calling you a hero." "The fleet? Everyone's talking about the Earthborn girl who made the impossible possible." Lyra shook her head slightly, a small, tired smile forming. "I didn't do this alone. You, the device, the humans, we all did it. It wasn't me. It was all of us." She thought about the battlefield, the fires, the lost ships, the thousands of lives lost. Heroism felt heavy. It was not a feeling of pride but of responsibility. Humanity had survived, yes, but the cost was enormous. And somewhere deep in the stars, she knew the alien threat had not vanished entirely. Yet even in the darkness there was hope. Human ships regrouped and formed formations again, ready to defend their planet. Survivors helped each other. They looked at the stars not with fear but with resolve. Humanity had learned something valuable, that even against impossible odds, courage, intelligence, and unity could prevail. Lyra's ship floated alongside Kale's as they watched the remaining alien ships retreat. "What now?" Kale asked softly. "They'll be back. And next time, we might not be ready." Lyra's eyes hardened with determination. "Then we'll be ready. We'll train. We'll prepare. Humanity can't hide forever. But we can fight. And we will." For the first time, she felt a strange peace settle over her. The battle was over, yes, but it was only the first chapter. She had discovered courage she never knew she had. She had seen the power of unity and hope. And she had proven that even a single person, one Earthborn girl, could change the course of history. Around them, the stars stretched endlessly. Fires from the battle burned in silence. The human fleet slowly moved toward home, carrying survivors, the injured, and the memory of those who had fallen. And far away, drifting silently through space, a faint, strange signal pulsed. A signal unlike anything humans had seen. It was weak, almost imperceptible, but it carried a message. The universe was bigger, stranger, and more dangerous than they had imagined. Lyra stared at the stars, her hand resting on the device. "We survived this," she whispered. "But the universe is not done with us." Kale nodded beside her. "Then we'll face it. Together." The camera would linger on Lyra's determined face, the device pulsing softly beside her. Humanity had won today, but tomorrow would bring new challenges. And with courage, intelligence, and a little hope, they would face whatever came next. The battle had been won. The war was not over. But humanity had survived, and it would never give up. The stars shone quietly, witnessing the first true victory of humans against the impossible. And in the darkness of space, a single spark of hope had grown into a fire that would burn forever.